Hello, everyone, and welcome to Littlefield live streaming. Tonight's show is Whiplash. Now, please welcome your host, Shalewa Sharpe.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Whiplash. I am your host, Shalewa Sharpe. Okay, I think we've covered all the basics. Thanks for joining us this evening. As I was preparing to come on stage, I was watching a young lady who was in a cap and gown, clearly graduated from something, high school or what's over high school? I'm not really sure. And she and her family were getting into a car, and I guess they're getting ready to pull away. And it was a really nice scene until I remembered that also in front of my apartment is a fire hydrant that they certainly parked in front of. So they're going now. Hold on to your joy, young lady. Hold on to your joy. Oh, the future. I'd hate to have to start my life now. Wouldn't you? Speaking of which, all right, so we're at the end of June, right? So we've been in this for a while. And folks have been scrambling to try to figure out how to deal with things. And I think that has kind of settled down, and we are kind of really getting into the groove of realizing that we know nothing. So we may have, we're probably coping in different ways. And I'm just curious, like, what have been your coping mechanisms for the past like 3 or 4 months or whatever? What have you been doing? I just started watching like movies. Do you know what I mean? Everybody else started doing that immediately. And I only thought, I could watch a movie or two. Yeah, or 10 or 12. What is time? You know what I mean? I had to really get to that point. So I've started watching movies. I'm listening to music, but there are only, I've realized, 2 musicians that have been speaking to me very deeply. One of them is James Blake, big fan, and that's fine. But one of them is Andrew Bird, and that's fine with me. But I mean, the optics right now in a Black Lives Matter situation, you may not want to go with the violin playing Americana folk artist. But here we are. Today I took a walk and I thought, let me listen to something. Let me get back to my roots. You know what I mean? Let me really get in touch with myself. So for an hour and a half, I walked around and listened to Patsy Cline. How am I dealing with this? I don't exactly know how I'm dealing with this. It is troubling. I'm sure I'm supposed to be listening to James Baldwin on tape or something, but here I am with Patsy Cline. Anywho, we've got a great show tonight, and I'm going to talk to all of our comics, and I'm going to ask them how they're doing, what they are finding is helping them out 3.5 months in. Wait. Okay, ice cream truck. Oh, life. It's great. So I'm going to bring up your first comic. All right, let's do this. She's very funny. A regular Comedy Cellar. What's that? It doesn't matter anymore. Please welcome to the stage Brittany Carney, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Shalewa. How are you?
Hey, Brittany. How are you?
I'm okay. I just got back to New York after being in the wilds of suburban Pennsylvania for 3 months with my parents. So I feel in a transitional phase. How are you?
I'm fine. I've been in this bunker in Bushwick for longer than I care to admit, and that was before the pandemic. So really, this is nothing. Yeah.
Your lady who knows what she wants. I respect that.
Yeah, I want out, but I can't get it. But Yeah. How are
I'm
you?
liking my. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask you, how are you like coping, especially now that you are back in the city and you're seeing what that is like?
Sure. I think like well, I'm enjoying my bunker in Bushwick right now because, I have the option of interacting with at least occasionally people that are under 65. So I really did appreciate being with my parents, but it's nice. It's just like me and my cat. And I think the relative alone time is nice. One thing though that I miss about my parents' place is that like you were just talking about movies. Like I forgot about movies. Like this whole like I don't really watch that many films,
Right.
And I feel like I relate to you too, where I was like, everything was like, okay, yeah, like send me your list of like shows and TV, like movies you recommend. And then I just kind of realized a month ago that's an option. And then however, I feel like I got into like series of TV shows where the theme was like sexy people out in a city,
Yeah. I watched St. Elmo's Fire. No one should watch St. Elmo's Fire. I made that mistake early on when I was like 14, and I can't believe I made it again. It's been long enough. But
well, now I know what I'll do tonight.
Yeah.
So can I share something, Shalewa, that I have been working on?
Absolutely.
So speaking of like shows, so I hadn't seen the original High Fidelity, but I watched the Hulu remake with Zoe Kravitz. And I really nosedived into the universe of the show. And I thought it was really interesting that the main character organizes their thoughts in these top 5 lists of music. So I know the readers at home are quivering in their loins to hear what I have to share. So here's a top 5 list of underrated sex playlist music. Okay, so number 1, Indian flute. Number 2, Gregorian chants. Number 3, ominous haunting organ. Number 4, chaotic xylophone. And number 5, a station I found on Spotify called Sad Christmas. So that's just sort of where I am romantically.
That's super fantastic. I say that as someone that worked in an independent record store for a few years.
You did? That's so cool.
Oh yeah, actually,
That's
when
hot.
High Fidelity came out, like I'm surprised our store stayed open because we all rushed out to see the movie. I lived that life extensively. We seem to only talk in top 10 lists. Actually, what I would do, I made everyone make up their own Palooza. So you make up your main Palooza stage, and then you have a stage for different genres. You have a stage for dead artists. You have a stage, the side stages. Yeah, no, and then we posted it up on the wall behind us. Like,
that's really cool.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And also, I have a sex playlist that has They Might Be Giants on it. So I'm really feeling you right now.
So wait, this is really fascinating because I also like that you made it up like a virtual, like you had like the dead, like the different stages, you created this universe. Wait, okay, so what's on your sex playlist?
My sex playlist has a little bit of very little classical, because I don't know if you can live up to the crescendos. It's tough. It seems like it'd be a no-brainer, but there's a lot of it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. There's like 1 or 2 Outkast songs.
That's okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah, there's maybe a song by The Internet. No D'Angelo, because you can't do it.
You think it's too much? It's like too on the nose.
It's too on the nose. Like, that's the dude. You can't do that. Like that. He literally did a video where he's pretty much perfect and naked. You're not. And I know what I'm bringing home to my bed. I do not want to be reminded that there were D'Angelos where I got them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I could, if I'd flipped over another stool.
That's a funny point. I like Outkast. That's interesting because it's like I'm not trying to violate you, but it's like that's like if you were in a movie.
A little
Like,
bit, a little
does
bit.
that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does
Yeah.
that like does that resonate? It's like, ooh, there's like a fun scene happening, like whether or not it like aligns with the tempo of said Outcast song.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely have to. You can have as many songs as you want, but you have to think about where you're placing them. I'd say this for any playlist you make. Where you're placing them, know your pacing. And you
True.
know, you're gonna have to kind of anticipate the pacing of the other person. Because my initial playlist was like 43 minutes long, and I was like, that's ambitious. I really only need about 5 songs. And
That's fair.
You know, 3 of them could really be like commercial jingles, if I'm being honest. we don't need to be here all night.
Again, a lady that knows what she wants. I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we don't have to keep talking about this, but I do like, I'm just realizing that I have this like, I have a disease where I've been with 2 white guys that played not Radio Lab. What am I thinking of? Radiohead. They didn't play Radio Lab, the science podcast. Okay, anyway, they played Radiohead, and that's like a specific vibe.
Yeah, that's a very specific dude, the Radiohead dude.
Yeah, like a gray beanie vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so
that's so funny.
That's something that's been going on in my life, I guess. So have you been enjoying? So you've been in the city the whole time.
Yeah.
What's your experience of it so far? Like the summer.
Oh, you know, I'm there. I'm in an area. You know, we're in an area where there are lots of people who are kind of wearing masks. You know what I mean? Like maybe a mask is on their person somewhere. Not where it needs to be, but
maybe off one shoulder or like
just kind of like a handbag over.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to I'm really working on emoting through my eyes the way Tyra Banks tried to
smize.
To
or whatever the frown equivalent is.
But also, to judge. I'm trying to show my judgment through my eyes. Yeah.
Okay, that's powerful. I feel like that's something that like especially in our like our mask up optical society right now, like that, like eyes are so expressive and evocative. I love the idea of like a mask judge. Right. Like it's like a dagger to the ego, you know, just across the street.
Absolutely. I want people to feel it when they pass me on the street. I want them to feel like, wow, that nondescript woman is really judging me.
I think that it's cool to see actually this isn't cool. Sometimes you see masks that are like strewn about, right? That are like litter. And I still have this thing where they just like look like little panties that are strewn around Brooklyn. Does that make any sense? Like little stringy thongs. Mm-hmm. It's a new world.
Yeah, I have seen them just kind of thrown about in a way where I'm like, wow, someone was reckless out here. Like they wore it this far and then they're like, I just can't.
Right. It's like when you see a sock or something, you're like, what happened? Who was being chased? I have to confess that I have, because like, okay, so for this whole time I was just in my parents' house, basically, or like the backyard. And I really, over 3 months, only left 3 times. And then now, like twice, I've just kind of walked out of my house without a mask and realized it and had to turn back around. Mm-hmm. So I think I have to like hang them in some kind of elaborate, like wreath on my door so that I don't forget.
Yeah. Try to keep them out of the reach of your cat, because.
Oh, noted.
Introducing a hanging mask on the wall within cat's reach has been something that my roommate and I are learning about. Pin it higher.
I'm sure. Yeah, my cat is prone to reaching and swatting.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Brittany.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Great to see you.
Likewise. Hope to see you some in flesh soon.
Yeah,
maybe.
That'd be nice.
Okay, bye.
Bye. That was Brittany Carney, everybody. If you have any further questions about my sex playlist. You can reach me. I'm not gonna, you can reach me. You can figure me out. You're gonna have to figure me out to find out more about the sex playlist. I feel like that's fair. Or I'm probably just gonna talk about it for the rest of the show. So really just take notes. Maybe that's all you need to do. I'm gonna bring your next comic up to the stage. This next comedian is super funny. You should follow him on the Twitter. Because he is slaying it on there constantly. He's a good follow. Please welcome to the stage, Diego Lopez.
Hey, I'm here. Oh, I should have closed my closet. God damn it. Hi.
Oh, whatever. You know you have a better closet than most.
I do. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so
you?
sex playlists. I have a lot of opinions.
What? You don't even like music.
Exactly. So I'm notoriously not a fan of music. I don't care for it. So,
I don't even understand. Do you like colors? Like, how does this work?
colors are great. I don't know music. Here's the thing. I just don't care. I don't care about any artists. I'm not going to go to a live music is a nightmare for me. But with a sex playlist, because I do like the idea of having some songs that are good for the moment. Here's my 2 rules. Okay.
Okay.
1, no English. I don't want to be able to hear words that I understand.
That's a good point.
Also,
sure.
for me specifically, I have to do no Spanish too. But
right.
no English. Secondly, instrumental, not great. So what I do is I find songs that I like the beat, but I find like a Portuguese song or an Italian song or a French song covers, oddly enough, pretty cool because your mind goes, I kind of know this song. I like this song.
Okay, so you don't want to go in blind with, wow, yeah, no, you've definitely given that a lot of thought.
Thank you.
A lot of thought. It's definitely, you try to build a vibe. You're trying to build a vibe.
Yeah.
But then you are also revealing what you think a sexy vibe is. And that can be embarrassing. When someone comes in and they're just like, hey, let's listen to this. And you're like, yikes, this is what you fuck to?
Right. I think that's what I think you kind of were correct earlier about the D'Angelo thing, where it's like it's too horny. You can't have sex.
It's too horny.
That's music to get in the mood for, not to have sex for.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's just going to end up with all parties involved crying.
Yeah, just living up to a set. I'm not going to go play basketball with Jordan. I don't need to feel bad about myself.
Just know he's out there.
Yeah, use it as inspiration, but don't compare yourself to.
Absolutely. That's funny that the another language. I'll give that a shot.
Please do.
But I mean, I also am not planning on having sex anytime soon. But I will build all the playlists in the world.
There you go. Hey, whatever scratches that itch for you. You got a playlist for yourself. No one's judging there.
No, I don't need that. It's so for just me. I'm trying to. It's like commercial breaks. I'm not trying to be there all night. I'm usually trying to sleep. That's probably why. It's the
best Tylenol PM is rubbing one out. I always say.
Yeah, exactly. That's precisely how I use it. If Mama took a melatonin, then watch out.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. That's great. I'm glad we're on the same page. I always felt like you and I were on the same page of a lot of things.
I think so. So how are you doing at this day, like this far in?
I'm fantastic. I'm great. I live with my best friend, so that's huge. I have all the time to work out now. I just work out and rest the rest of the day. I'm meal prepping. I'm making all these great foods for myself and like making sure I'm getting enough protein to carb ratio and getting my micronutrients and my macronutrients. Taking a lot of nudes. You gotta because this is probably the best I've ever looked. Because I've gotten a little bit bigger, like a little bit thicker, but I'm still very muscular and ripped. If you haven't seen me shirtless, I apologize. If you're like wondering what it's like, check out my Instagram.
No, man, y'all, if you've ever been on his Twitter and you've seen him shirtless, you better screenshot that shit quick because he's very fast.
I do get shy.
Yeah, you won't even have time to scroll back up. You just got to sit there for a minute and just let it burn into your memory and then just go, all right, well, I know this will be gone.
Yeah, you put a charcoal in a sketchbook, and you're like, hold on a second.
Just kind of do a quick little etching of it, and then the rest of it is it's.
But yeah, it's hard not being, because I think most people in New York specifically, we're so used to a routine that when it gets shaken, it's so strange and alien. So my routine is fighting people every day. So like, this is the longest I've gone without being punched in the face in over a decade.
Oh, so yeah, so you are doing well, I guess.
My brain's working for the first time ever. I'm like, oh shit, full sentences coming out. Look at me.
Wow. Yeah. Will you please explain why you fight every day?
Oh, my job is I teach mixed martial arts. I'm a
Okay.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and undefeated cage fighting champion.
What
And
cage?
yeah, and I do comedy. Huh?
What cage?
Oh, it's MMA's in a cage.
Oh, right. It's a big thing.
It's a big cage.
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't.
how
Yeah,
you
it
do
doesn't have like the Hell in the Cell like cover on the top, but it's an enclosure.
Oh, so it's not like completely like you don't get to crawl up it like one of those domes.
No, it's Spider-Man versus Randy Macho Man Savage.
Right.
It's just chain link fencing.
Oh, wow, that's hardcore. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're not getting punched.
I miss it.
Actually.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh, I'm just sitting around. Yeah, I work from home. Which I mean I am.
Sure.
If any of you are watching, I do. And then once a week or so I do have to go in and do officey things like check.
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, I've noticed you're like on the train and stuff occasionally.
Yeah, so that's fun. And then mostly I just sit here and be allergic to my cat and try to ignore it.
Whoa, I didn't know you were.
Yeah.
See, I was allergic to cats for a long time,
Mhm.
and then I'd come over because I'd come to this apartment to hang out with Mike when I didn't live here,
Right.
and I'd get a little allergic to his cat. But now, because I live here, I'm completely cured of it.
Well, that was kind of the case, except the thing was we hadn't spent like we got the cat like a year ago, and but we're still like ripping and running in that year, and now this is the longest that we're just in it with the cat. And so I'm like, oh, that might be why I feel weird, is because I'm locked in here with this damn cat. So I got a couple of air purifiers. I had to do this when I had a dog years ago.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. I mean, we got the cat. We like the cat. The cat seems to pretend to like us.
Okay.
Well,
That's as much as you can ask from a cat, just to pretend.
Yeah, like we've had her a skosh over a year, and she lets us hold her occasionally.
Okay.
I'm not pushing it. It's on her timeline.
Better than my ex-wife. Hey, folks, how are you? Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah. What's the cat's name?
Lucinda.
Interesting.
It came with the name, and I was like, you know what? That's actually not bad.
Not a bad name.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, you're talking about
Oh, go ahead.
Talking about movies. I realized. Yes. So I was like, why watch a very hard work where someone put a lot of work and effort into a 90-minute feature film when you can watch 37 like YouTube videos about a guy cooking something you'd never eat? So
okay,
that's my whole thing.
All right, that's good. I mean, like that's usually the reason it took me so long to even get to movies is because I spend most of my waking hours watching music videos on YouTube.
Oh, can you give me a quick top 3?
Of music videos?
Yeah.
Here's what I'll do. I'll give you my 3 favorite NPR Tiny Desk performances.
Oh, okay. I got 1 or 2 in there. Okay.
Tyler, the Creator.
He's great.
That's a good one. He brought in his own lighting rig, and they recorded it at night. And his backup singers are fantastic. Daniel Caesar. He's a wonderful R&B singer that may have been canceled. I can't even keep up with it anymore.
It's hard. Sure.
Still beautiful.
Just say that after every man you mentioned. That's fine.
And oh gosh, what is another one I really love? Probably the Breeders, because I love everything that the Breeders do.
Okay, I'll check those out.
Yeah, so those are probably my favorite. Oh, no. T-Pain, scratch it, T-Pain.
Oh.
T-Pain's Tiny Desk was a revelation, and I wasn't that big of a T-Pain person beforehand. Not big enough, but they're stripped down versions of songs that you've heard. Just like, I think like only 3 of them, and he was clearly uncomfortable when he did it. He was just like, I don't know why y'all have me on this show, but I'll sing. No auto-tune or anything. Mwah, beautiful.
Interesting. That's so cool that that'd be the last person I would think of asking. It's like asking Daft Punk to do a Tiny Desk. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's good.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very cool. That's very cool.
Well,
I haven't seen that many.
You haven't one of your
Tiny
3
Desks. Idols.
Okay.
I really like British bands for some reason. They've always like Joy Division and the Smiths and Arctic Monkeys. Like those bands have always clicked with me. Nostalgia wise, Wu-Tang's, like I can't not.
Sure.
I'm trying to think if I've thought of another. I don't think I can think of another one off the top of my head that I actually like actively enjoyed.
Well, that's pretty good considering you don't like music. That's very impressive. Well, Diego, thanks for joining us, Diego.
Thank you so much for having me. You're a dream. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you.
I love you too. It's so good to see you.
Bye, everyone.
That was Diego Lopez, everybody. He's a joy to talk to and a joy to be around. And again, follow him on Twitter because you really don't want to miss those shirtless pictures when they happen. And I'm not saying that in like a creepy way. I mean that they're very artfully done. Perhaps even in black and white. I don't quite remember. Anyway, I'm going to bring your next comedian to the stage. I'm super jazzed to talk to him. Originally from Boston. He's one of my favorite comics that I've seen come through here in a while. Super duper funny. Please welcome to the stage, Nick Chambers.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. I'm
just following Diego there.
Oh.
Hey, nothing wrong with some artful nudes.
Who doesn't? I mean, if you put it in a grayscale.
You're right. I need something to go on these walls. I can't just have this autographed photo of Jackie Chan.
No. Yeah, you definitely should put something next to that. Maybe a letter explaining why. why I have what you just saw.
I wrote to him. It was a class project in high school, and they had us to learn how to write letters. We would write letters to celebrities and ask them to send us something. And Jackie Chan sent that back with a personalized letter like, hey, I'm so happy to be part of your project. Keep getting good grades in school. And in return, I will continue to make great movies. And then I saw a couple of movies. I was like, I'm glad I let my grades slip because you just kept up that bargain.
That's hard. Now, you can't make that kind of promise.
That's like, what I'm saying.
Man, you keep doing well, and I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best. Right.
I mean, was he just looking at scripts like this is really not up to the caliber that I promised?
Nick is dependent on me.
This is not. I don't think my agent understands.
Shanghai Noon 2? I can't. I promised him. He's like, Owen, I can't. I'm sorry. I made a promise years ago.
So, how are you doing? We are this far along in this.
I'm all right. I moved during the this whole pandemic, which was cool. Like I'm the first one in the new spot now. I've never been in a position where I get to populate under the sink with plastic bags. Like
ooh,
I'm the first, so I get to like this. I'm deciding what's worthy, like have a nice day. Nah, I want a smiley face one under there. So
that is power. That definitely. When you can get into a place and determine where things go, that's
right.
Oh, I love that.
Like I moved the bathroom to a different room. We're not
yeah.
Just because there's a toilet in there, that's not making the rules.
Oh wow. So are you like do you like your new place? Was it stressful moving?
Yeah, because I mean, after 3 months of not doing anything and then
Oh, sure.
moving all of your stuff, I was like, oh, this is a lot of sweat. I didn't know I didn't know I
Right.
had this much in here.
Yeah, I haven't done any. I've been making myself go on walks in the morning. I say to clear my head, but it's also because anytime I did anything remotely physical from late March until about a month ago, and I mean like bend down to pick up something, my knees would get hot. And that just doesn't feel like that's what's supposed to happen.
I didn't know they produced heat.
Not
didn't know
like
that
that.
was
I mean, like, I really was like, they're radiating heat. I feel, and they're trapped in these legs. That doesn't.
Sometimes when my body does stuff like that, I sometimes wonder, like, I hope like superheroes aren't real and like I just had the lamest superpower. Like, here comes hot knees, watch out.
Right.
Is that you run faster? Nah, it's just my knees are hot.
Just my knees are hot. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I can light a candle off it.
I can iron the crease out of my khakis without
Right.
even touching
That's basically it. I'm just steaming clothes, but otherwise there's nothing else. I mean, my hands are cold. So really
put them on your knees.
Just put them on my knees. It's a self-contained kind of superpower. Like, it's not
Right.
It's not really for helping anyone else. It's my own personal.
Oh God.
So what have you been doing to cope outside of, deciding to move? What have you been doing to like kind of get through?
I've been doing a lot of Amazon shopping. I think having like, hey, this is going to show up in a couple of days, and then I'll order something else and wait for that to show up. And I love seeing how disrespectful some of these delivery people are. It's fascinating to see what they're willing to like. Yeah, this is fine. Like, I ordered a picture frame. It's a poster of a artwork from an artist I really like, Bisa Butler, and I finally got the picture frame. It said it was delivered. I opened the door and they just flattened a regular box and put the frame, like taped the edges and put like it was a Pop-Tart. Like they just closed up the edges and left it on the front stoop. So anyone who had to come in the building would step over or on. And it's like dents in it and like the glass is cracked. And I was like, what? Why? Why would you? This is how you ship things.
Yeah, no, no one cares. No one cares. I've heard things hit my front door and I'm like, well, that sounded like my candles. That's what that sounded like. That definitely, the rebound on that is definitely my candles for sure.
Right.
Actually, my upstairs neighbors got my fancy candles. Accidentally, whoever delivered it, they're not looking at apartment numbers, they just left it there. Mm-hmm. And so she took it in and she didn't look at the label, I guess. So she opened them and took them out and put them in her apartment. And the only clue that I had that she did it was I happened to be looking out of my window and she was talking to someone on the street. And as she was doing it, she was just cavalierly throwing the empty box down to where the recycling is, which is in front of my door. So she's throwing this empty box while talking. And then later, when I saw that it was delivered, it said it was delivered, and I looked at this empty box that had, and no candles, had my name on it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this bitch just took, I can't. When I tell you I went up to her apartment at 6:45 a.m.
Yes. Yeah, you steal a candle, you get demon time. You don't get to...
Yeah.
Also, who gets a package that they weren't expecting with something that you ignite and you just keep keep it.
You just keep it.
Fireworks have been going on constantly tonight. I'm just gonna get this candle. Just to light this. I didn't order it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't. How are you not looking at names on? I don't know. But then I did. I went up there at 6:45 a.m. and I was like, oh, first of all, here's rent, because I'd had the check ready Did I give it to him 10 days late? Does that matter for the story?
Nah, that's a late fee for
That's
your candle.
the late fee is I let you keep my candles overnight. Give me my goddamn candles. Oh my God. Yeah. So, that's how I'm coping is being wildly passive aggressive with my landlord's wife. That certainly will play out well.
I think so. Nothing bad has ever happened from messing with the landlord's wife. That's fine.
No, yeah, no, that's great. That's fantastic.
What are they gonna do? Keep more of your candles?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to ask her what she likes as a scent. For sure.
You're ordering for 2 now.
Yeah, right. Well, Nick, I'm so glad you could join me on this.
This is so fun. Thank you for having me on. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And take care, and I'm sure I'll see you at some point. Womp womp womp. Thanks, Nick. That was Nick Chambers, everybody. It's always good to see someone who starts out extremely silly and only gets sillier. Sign Jackie Chan. Anyway, I'm going to bring up your next comic. Let's just keep it going. I feel like talking until I don't. So luckily that'll be when the show's up. I'm just talking. Let me just bring up the next comic. Oh, man. Super funny fella. I'm so excited to see him. Please welcome to the stage, Matt Wayne.
Hello.
Hello, Matt Wayne.
Hey, well, how are you?
I'm all right. First off, let's talk about your hair.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten to the barber, so this is I'm just seeing how it goes. My wife likes it.
Okay.
And for me, I'm like, I'm almost 40 and I've never really let it go. So maybe it's time to see. I just look like a terrible hockey player. I don't know. I already have a big melon as it is too, so I feel like this just adds to the mass.
Yeah, I'm into it. I want to say.
As long as I'm getting positive reviews, it's getting a little scraggly back here. I'm getting like a 80s dad mullet. You see this? I could really yeah.
I mean, let's see if we can turn that into a rat tail, man. Let's see what we can
I used to have a rat tail when I was a little boy, and my mother still has it in an envelope. So yeah, it's creepy.
No, it's not. Look, I've got bundles of dreads scattered throughout. I think I have 2 bundles here in this apartment. I may have a bundle of dreads in a storage space in Atlanta. Like you just put them in a bag and keep it moving.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Oh, the huge. How are you doing?
I'm good. I like everyone else, I've been, listening to music, watching movies, smoking weed, doing push-ups, just trying to, by the way, I love that Diego said he didn't like music, but then was like, I don't know, like the Smiths, Joy Division.
Right, yeah.
It's like, oh, really? Okay. He's the guy that says, I don't really play guitar. And then mind if I just see this? And just he's that guy. He's a confident, handsome man who hates everything but's good at everything.
Yeah, it's real annoying. It's very annoying.
I've also gotten into drinking chilled red wine out of a coffee cup.
I love drinking liquids out of the wrong container.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Don't follow the rules. Who says this has to have coffee,
Yeah, no, chilled.
Punk rock.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, absolutely. Just do it up. You know what I mean? Whiskey in a juice glass, whatever you got.
yeah. Why not? Why the hell not?
Yeah, or a thermos, which is really like, when you think about it, like whiskey in a thermos, it's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. No one knows. You might not, can't get close to anybody. What's good for now, for the social distancing, it's good for the alcoholics because no one can smell your breath.
No one knows how long you've been self-medicating.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, you do get to know your breath with a mask on. You
really do, and you don't really get to know it until the next time you use your mask, and then you put it on over, and you're like, "Whoa, why does this smell like falafel?" Okay, I guess I ate a bunch of falafel and ran a mile.
Yeah, but it's all part of the adjustments that we're going to have to make.
It's a wild world. It's a wild world.
In this new world order. That's we know.
New world order.
Yeah,
we're that all the comedians were like, I don't want to do material. I just want to talk to Shalewa. That's how well loved you are. No one wants to do their stupid jokes.
No, I appreciate that, but also if they are having the time of writing jokes that I'm having, I would want to talk to me too, because I don't. What are we doing?
At the beginning of this, I like anyone else, I was like, well, now's the time. I'm gonna write that pilot, gonna write that screenplay. You buy a new notebook, and then it's like anything else. You're like, you put your name in it. And you're like, all right, it looks good. I'm gonna go watch Family Matters. Which, by the way, I've been watching Family Matters in order. It's on Hulu. Fine program.
Okay.
You're making a face like you don't like Family Matters.
I don't think I can get with Family Matters.
But Jaleel White is a powerhouse. He's a comedic powerhouse. The slapstick, the timing. I mean, I'm blown away. I know it was like a kid's show, and I was a kid when I saw it, but I'm watching it now, and I'm like, they really go to some wild places. They do. I mean, he really was a tour de force. I will give him that, especially when they started giving him alter egos. Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So now he's got to come up with character stories for all of them. And that's impressive.
I know. Season 2, he plays his female cousin, Myrtle Urkel. Myrtle Urkel. And just what a performance. I wish you couldn't do that today, because you'd have to get an actor who is actually your female cousin to play your female cousin.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going with this now.
That's okay. That's okay.
But I mean, he could also lie in the audition and say that he was his. You know what I mean? He's just that good.
He is that good. You're like, is that Jaleel White? I don't
know. But unfortunately, he was so good that he couldn't do anything else.
That's true.
And now I don't know if I'd know him unless he like walked up to me and was just like, I'm Jaleel White. And then I'd still be like, why do I know that name?
Jaleel White.
Someone from high school, So what have you all right, so Family Matters.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm watching.
What else are you watching? Are you watching anything serious at all?
Yes. My wife and I, we are watching Dark. Have you seen Dark?
No, but my roommate has mentioned that a few times, so I know it exists.
It'll make your head spin. Like it's almost sometimes a little frustrating. You're like, why are they fucking confusing me like this? And it makes me feel dumber than usual. I have to like pause and like look to my wife and like, so wait, that's because there's a lot of like dimensions and time travel. And,
okay, all right.
It's a great show, and those Germans can really act. I never watched any German anything in my life, but
that's understandable. I mean,
no one's ever like, there's a German show with subtitles. You're like, I'll be over here. Okay.
Right, exactly. I can only judge because I don't watch too much television, only because my TV's in the living room. But I can judge by what is good based on hearing my roommate's reaction through the wall when he's watching his TV. So like, I know Dark he's a fan of. I remember him working his way through Ozark.
Ozark's fun.
That was a very tumultuous time for him. He was very verbal then. Whenever all of the country was watching The Last Dance.
Oh yeah.
Y'all were wearing me out with that. I would go to bed at a reasonable hour, 7, 8 p.m. and would wake up at like 3 a.m. and Twitter is still ablaze with people talking about.
Yeah, it was nice to have. It was like Sunday was like the church of Michael Jordan. You go to bed thinking about Michael Jordan. You wake up, you're like, man, Pippen didn't get paid. What the fuck? And like you just start going nuts about it. I miss it.
Yeah. So you guys really took that seriously, and it was a fun thing to watch from far away.
Also, my wife and I, we watched. Have you ever seen this film, Vampire's Kiss, with Nicolas Cage?
No.
Oh my
no.
God, it's on Prime. Everyone should watch it because it's Nicolas Cage now has a reputation for doing crazy things, stupid movies. But this is a 1989 major studio film, MGM Studios, and it is absolute insanity. It is like he ruins the movie. He's just destroying a film for 2 hours. I highly recommend it. He thinks he's a vampire, but he doesn't know. It's a lot of fun, a lot of over the top Cage stuff. It'll really.
I kind of remember when that came out, and I remember that being like the beginning of Nicolas Cage, like all caps.
Yeah. That's when he started
Like,
really widen his eyes in every film. He was just like, kind of looking frightened all the time.
I feel like that's when it started, was with that one. I don't know if he was really drinking blood or what this case was, but it.
He eats a cockroach, and it was a real cockroach, and then he got busted by PETA. You know, PETA, they don't mess around, even if it's a cockroach. Come on.
Right.
Come on, Nicholas.
Can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that, Nicholas.
Well, Matt, thanks so much for joining us this
Thank you for
evening.
having me. This was so fun. It was great to see you.
It was great to see you too.
Sometime soon, and I love you. Thank you so much.
Take care.
You too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. So that was Matt Wayne and his hair. It is truly magnificent. I don't know if you maybe just have to know him on the regular, but trust me, what's going on there, mwah, it's good stuff. Noticeable right away. So I'm going to bring out your next comedian, and I was about to say that she's a hoot, and I don't know if anyone's ever called her a hoot before, but I think she's a hoot. Please welcome to the stage, Kate Willett.
Hello.
Hello. Has anyone ever called you a hoot before?
My grandma, definitely.
That tracks. I tend to use grandma terms. How you doing?
Doing good, you know. Oh no, I said oh no because my quarantine experience has been dominated by getting some kittens, and one of them is eating a bowl of ice cream that I left on the table and was empty. I don't know if that's good for it. I don't think so.
But yeah, we'll find out, won't we? It's all a learning experience.
Yeah.
So kittens, how many kittens?
I have 2 kittens. The other one looks exactly like that one. They look the same. Yeah. So yeah.
So how are you? Are you just calling them hey and you until you can decide on names or something?
No, their names are Albert and Pearl, because they have like little old people personalities. They're kind of crotchety and grumpy and stuff. And so we just thought we'd name them after grandparents. Yeah, I don't know. At the beginning of in February, I was like doing comedy and canvassing for Bernie Sanders, and now I'm hanging out in the house all the time. I have 2 new pets. I have 2 new roommates. There's a boyfriend in my room who's installing a television on the wall. I had really never seen television shows before the quarantine. I watched my first episode of The Simpsons. Like that's how like weird and detached I was from pop culture. This is a whole new life.
Oh yeah, no. So you've gone through some changes.
Yeah, I was not an inside person. I was not domesticated at all.
Well, I mean, then I wish luck to you and your cats.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you all come out of this okay.
Me too. Yeah, I don't know. The cats are going to be watching some stand-up comedy pretty soon, probably. I'm nervous about it.
Well, I mean, you got to get them used to it. That's what I've done with my cat. She acts up a little bit when she sees me, setting up the ring light, and she's like, all right, this person who feeds me is doing her weird thing. And then she just kind of, for the most part, will find a spot and chill. And then maybe towards the end, she starts trying to claw her way into a kitchen cabinet, which
Aww.
Part of my getting ready for a show routine is setting up the computer, setting up the ring light, putting rubber bands on all of the kitchen cabinets so that she can't get in there. It's all the whole thing. And that's a new step when getting ready for a show, is also being concerned about the cat.
Did you own a ring light before the quarantine?
No, man. I didn't. And this is a dark apartment, and I've been fine with that because who's in my apartment? But we didn't realize just how dark this apartment was until I started doing Zoom shows, and I was like, oh, I'm partially in a basement. I don't have light anywhere. So a friend of mine who lives out in LA got a ring light for her job or whatever, and she took a selfie with it, and I was like, I want what you got. What is that?
Yeah. All my LA friends have them. Like, you just move to LA and then they hand you a ring light.
Yeah, just go about your business.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's supposed to, I was telling another friend about it, and she was like, oh yeah, no, this would be great for when you have to do self-tapes to audition. And I was like, what life do you think I'm leading? Like, I leave it on sometimes just to read, because this is it's a dark apartment, just reading by candlelight or ring light, whichever one, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm also kind of watching more television.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see. I've watched a lot of TV in my years, and so when I finally watch a show that everyone's like, oh, you gotta see this, I watch it, and then I remember an older show that it's like, so I'm like, oh, so this is just like Scrubs for young people or something like that. And everyone's like, why are you so dismissive? And I'm like, you haven't met me, I guess. I don't know.
I watched an episode of Seinfeld at the beginning of the quarantine because I was like, oh, I'll revisit this show. And it's like, it's so funny, like how, like the premise of the show of just getting like really upset about super tiny things. And It was just like extra funny to watch in the middle of a pandemic, like just imagining like just flipping out that someone's baby was ugly, for example, Yeah. It's like, now is really when that kind of hits. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what else are you doing to like get through this? Because I mean, we've been outside of all the many changes that you've had in your life over the past few months. What else have you had to make any weird adjustments?
I feel like it's been in like stages of core, like stages of grief. Like there was one stage which was just kind of exclusively devoted to like Pop-Tarts, No,
I'm going through that one right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a phase devoted to exercise to offset that at some point. But I mean, I thought at the beginning of the quarantine that I was gonna learn to knit or some shit, but like I haven't really done any of that. I don't know. I'm starting to do like social distance walks with people, like kind of wear the mask, they stand far apart or whatever. It's like you're in like a sci-fi thing, but it still kind of feels like hanging out with your friends.
Right.
Yeah. I am trying to find new topics for comedy because I've been doing these Zoom shows, and I used to write a lot about like fucking people and stuff. It was like a big topic, and now it's like I can't. That's gonna set off a lot of social distancing alarms for people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Talk on a Zoom show about fucking strangers. Like I used to be worried about my level of self-respect, which I thought was misogynistic, but now they're gonna be worried that I might become a super spreader of the virus.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Sluts are the new super spreaders.
Yeah. So it's hard to figure out like what. Like all of this is, on some level universal, but it's also like, I don't know. I'm kind of finding it a little tough to like joke about, because there's still a part of me that's just like, I'll say some joke and then I'll be like, oh man, I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. I can't see my family and I don't know how long. You know what I mean? Like you just remember these little things. So really my best performances have been on video calls with friends.
Yeah, I like you're just doing your bit. That's like kind of like what people used to do before they like became comedians, you know?
Yeah.
That thing where it's like you know, you're just exhausting your friends by doing bits at them, and they're like, you should really perform, and it's not even because they think you're talented as much as they don't want to hear your bits anymore. Anyways, I was
Yeah.
putting that on to you. That was just true about me. So
But now they have nothing else to do.
yeah, exactly. They're just, you know,
They're like, well, I guess I'm supportive.
yeah, it's like, well, okay, you guys are listening to this story, or it's total isolation for you again. So
Right.
yeah.
So choose wisely.
Exactly.
Oh man, it's so good to see you, Kate.
It's so good to see you too, Shalewa. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on by.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. That was Kate Willett, everyone. We've got one more comedian for you. And I'm excited to talk to her. I'm a big fan. She also has been doing very well on Twitter. It's been very interesting to see the comedians who have been like nailing it on Twitter during this. You know, just seeing us rise to Twitter levels, which is barely above sea level. But anywho, she's killing it on there. So please welcome to our stage, Kenice Mobley.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It feels weird that whenever I do these shows, like everyone now knows what my home looks like. Like
Yeah,
I don't
that is
know.
strange.
I don't know what people were thinking it looked like, but it's messy and there's stuff everywhere and I have no storage. So it's all on the walls. Okay.
Yeah, well, no, that's probably how everyone's place looks. I mean,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, this is just a bed sheet
Oh, nice.
on the wall.
But it gives you
That's all.
separation. It allows you to like be like, you guys, the audience, don't get to see where I live. We don't have that relationship.
Also, I don't have enough artwork for my walls, and the walls could stand to be washed.
Okay.
Many things.
I understand that. I get that. Oh,
And
yeah.
so I was just like, well, we're just gonna put up a bed sheet.
That makes sense.
And that particular set of sheets just doesn't have a flat sheet now.
It happens.
So
Mix and match.
Yeah. We'll see if I even have enough. I don't know. I'm pushing it with sheets. I really should get more.
I feel like that's a pressure, but I've never been over to anyone else's house. Like I've never been over to a woman's house and thought they need more sheets. Like men, yes, because they have like one set of sheets and that's it.
True.
But like
That's
women,
true.
if you have 2, 3, you're good. You're fine.
Yeah, I think you should start with 3 and then build from there if you need to build. I mean, but I feel like you really shouldn't build unless you have a family or something.
If you have if you have a washer machine, you are allowed to build that.
Yeah,
but otherwise
absolutely.
it's like, what, you're gonna do like 8 sets in a wash? You're gonna pay for the $16 giant one? I don't think so.
Hey, did you know that the country is in the middle of a coin shortage?
We have a coin shortage?
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm keeping mine then.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I didn't know that was an issue, but apparently right now we're also kind of in the beginning throes of a coin shortage. And I really wish I'd known this before I chose to wash my winter blanket. And
yeah, you can put that off until next winter.
Yeah, I truly could have. I probably washed away like 2 or 3 years worth of protective grime just because I was like, well, I mean, it's here and it's relatively empty, but now I'm never gonna get them quarters back.
You never, because who knows? I don't know. Everything's just gonna be a round cost now. Like they'll calculate the tax in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to restaurants, so like I'm not giving
like,
people
what are you doing with
cash.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand everyone's using cards, so I don't know how we're losing change. Do you think this is maybe a conspiracy of some sort?
I think everything is a conspiracy of some sort. I think that I do like genuinely think that people are like, "Ooh, we piece these things together in numbers," and I'm like, no. Rich people just want to keep you poor, and they figured out how to do it, and they've been systematically doing that for a long time. So I don't think it's some great conspiracy in the sky from like a cabal of people who have like blood orgies and like anything like that. I think it's people being like, who uses change? What is it? Is a poor person thing? It doesn't matter. Get rid of it. It's like, I think they, as much as they thought about it, and then there are people who are like, but I was counting, and they're like, well, fuck you. We never cared about you, and that's
true. That's true. And then I guess there's just some middle manager who has to come up with the fanciful story.
Yeah.
To just kind of spread out there.
Exactly.
Right.
They want us all to die, and this is what they're doing.
Okay, so here's my thing about all the rich people wanting everybody else to die, which, I mean, if they do, I guess it's their prerogative. But what are they going to do if we do?
Because they don't know how to clean, they don't know how to make anything. They're hoping that like we just slowly die, but like that there's like a small slaves, that's really what they're going for again. Like they're just gonna make it really hard to live, and so a lot of people will die, and then some people will be like, well, I guess I'll give up my rights and freedom so that I can afford food, and then they're just gonna be like, they're rubbing their hands together, and then they hope that they can just continue doing that until they die.
So this is how you're spending your quarantine time, is thinking these types of things?
I'm kind of, yeah. I've worked on like a lot of different skills. I've been writing. I've been taking writing classes. I've been doing a lot of Duolingo. I realized that I completely lacked self-esteem, so I bought a workbook for that, because for the life of me, I can't find a Black woman therapist. Like
man,
in TV. They make it seem so easy. On TV, they make it seem like all the therapists are
all of them are. All judges, all therapists, Black women.
And I'm just looking around like, so clearly I would be. And they're like, we don't take your insurance, idiot. And I'm just well, like, so you have a sliding scale, and they're like, it starts at $100 for someone who barely has a degree. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess my sanity isn't that valuable. Okay, well, I won't do that then.
Yeah, I have a friend who is a white dude, and he was telling me about his therapist that he had years ago, and he mentioned that it was a Black woman, and I was like, bruh, how did you
find her?
That's not fair.
It isn't.
Why am I constantly clacking looking for him?
Emailing, searching, having conversations just for them to be like, oh, sorry for the miscommunication. One person in our practice takes your insurance, and she's booked until 2022. So do you think you can like hold?
Yeah, can you wait until then?
Until 2022? And you're like, okay, well, great.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I don't know what to do about it. So
these workbooks are pretty cool. I mean, I say this as a lady who likes homework, and like my favorite therapists have been ones who are like, okay, so you got to do this homework by next week, and we're going to discuss this. I've just brought the workbooks that my therapists have owned, and I'm just going through those to not go insane.
Yeah, if I got to do homework to get better self-esteem, I'm just going to stay down here. What? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not writing. Look, I've kept a diary since I was like 9. Can I just flip through that and see if maybe we can find some kernels that I can put this on?
I'm going to start texting you pages of this.
I'm never doing
It'll just be like, hey, think about this in this way versus this way.
What? I don't need.
Come on,
can they put it in a music video? I really need them to put
If I made a music video about self-esteem using the tools that I've gotten from these workbooks, would you watch it? I'd add some production values.
As long as you don't say I'm using the tools that I like, I don't want to know. I want you to trick me. I need you to trick me like the people in the conspiracy theory.
Okay, I gotta have a great beat. I gotta somehow figure out how to write good songs enough to get money to make music videos, but that like slip self-esteem messages to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
that's
a-
basically what house music is. If you
Is
have
it?
a 4-on-the-floor beat, this is a crackpot music theory. This is literally how I traffic in the world, is with
Okay.
crackpot music theories. If you
Okay.
have a 4-on-the-floor beat, a boom, 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 and then you've got a little piano, bling, 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 right? Okay,
Love
so
it
now
already.
we're building from there, and you
Okay.
basically just sing about the power of love, which is half of what Delight's saying about.
That's true.
How you're free. Freedom is very big.
Okay.
How you don't need whatever it was that was stressing you out before.
Okay.
All of these things, these are staples of like house music.
All
You're
right.
gonna be fine. That's why people are just,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna
I
make some
really think
weird
if
ass
you
house
could,
music. I'll send it to you. We'll see. You act like I'm kidding. I've got Garage
No,
Band
I know
on
you
my
will.
iPad.
I know you will. I know I will open up my Gmail and go, oh Lord, here she comes with this positive.
I already have some beats that I was fucking around with. This is on you, Shalewa. Yeah, I'm gonna
All
put the
right.
ball in your court so hard. It's gonna be
Oh
good.
man, I just created a monster.
You did. You did. I'm gonna be a masterful house musician. I'm gonna be on European television and everything.
Well, I mean, I guess thanks for joining us. It's so good to see you, Kenice.
It's good to see you too. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
That was Kenice Mobley, and that was our show for this week. Thanks so much for joining us. We're gonna go on a little hiatus. The block is hot, and we just want to be out there in the sun because we heard the sun, it burns everything. So anyway, thank you for joining us at Whiplash. Thanks to Littlefield for having us. Thanks to all the comedians that you saw tonight. That was Kate Willett, it was Brittany Carney, Diego Lopez, Matt Wayne, Nick Chambers, and Kenice Mobley. I've been your host, Shalewa Sharpe. I'd like to thank my ring light. Thank you, baby. I like to thank my neighbors for not setting off fireworks this time. I'd like to thank my cat for hiding from me. I'm full of thanks, but mostly thanks again to you for joining us. We will be back when we can be back. So just keep an eye out for us. Enjoy your summer, everybody.